Hello and welcome to Krogoth's PI tutorial. In this tutorial I'm going to cover everything from the skills you need in your character through to planet setup and maintenance. But the first question is, why would you want to do PI? Well, the main reason is that ISK. ISK. For every character you can basically earn almost 600 mil a month, so do it on all 3 characters and yeah, probably 1.5 bill a month per account, which can, well, flex your account for free I guess, or whatever else you want to do. Right, moving on, try and keep this as short as possible because it's not the most interesting topic. Skills. The skills you'll need for your character are: firstly, you want planetology, and you'll want that to level 4, which essentially is scanning, and then advanced planetary, probably 3 or 4. It doesn't matter so much, it's just so when you're looking at planets, which we'll do in a minute, the resolution you get is closer to what's actually there. But the important ones are interplanetary consolidation, which essentially gives you an extra planet for each skill level. You start with 1 and you have a maximum of 6. One that's pretty much mandatory getting to level 5 is Command Center upgrades. This allows you to put more stuff on a planet. It's required essentially for the build that I'm going to give you in this tutorial. Route sensing, as it says, it allows you to scan the planet from further away. It's not really that important, to be honest, but doing this will probably take about 25 days on the character. If it's an alt, you also want to have it so you can fly the Epifol. It's just industrial level 1, not much about that. You probably want like initial stabs or what core stabilizers on it, whatever as well. Right, moving on. Planet setup. In our system, we have these items which we can make. There's quite a few different things we could make, but what you need to do essentially is look on the market, see what's selling for the most. Most of these don't actually sell at all, to be honest. There's like maybe 1,000 units per day in Tutor, so it isn't worth making them. But I've done all the heavy lifting for you. Ooh. And if you look on the forum, there's a list of things which you should make. The top one being enriched uranium, which can be made at the plasma planet, which is planet 9, and which is 10,500 ISK per unit. Fertilizer 8.5, and so on. It's not a bad selection really. But the thing to note about this is that they're all Tech 2, well, Tier 2, not Tech 2 really. Every time you refine it, it makes it a bit smaller, which makes it easier to move and that sort of jazz. Right, so if we go with Plasma Planet, enriched uranium. So this is the schematic for building it. Essentially you mine noble and heavy metals, refine them, and then use a factory to combine them into rich uranium. So what you'll need is Plasma Command Center and about 7 million ISK to deploy it. Planet 9 is the plasma planet in our system. So what we want to do is we want to drop into planet mode and scanning, and we need noble and heavy metals to make enriched uranium. So what we're looking for here is, firstly, you turn on other characters. The last thing you want to do is build over another character's PI station, because the resources just disappear pretty damn quick. What we're looking for is kind of an overlap where you've got decent resources and between them both. So let's have a look. too bad, there's so there's a bit of a gap between them. It's not too far, be alright. So first thing we do is we're going to drop the command center. This doesn't do a lot. Essentially it's where, when you view the planet, the command center's on. Just deploy it, upgrade it to level 5. So the first thing you want to do is put a launch pad. This is kind of the centre of the whole thing. We'll build everything out of there. What we have is 3 basic facilities for each miner, and then 3 factories to produce the eventually at the end. So generally what I do is I just have them all towards the middle, like so. Try and make them as close as possible, because if they're further away they'll use more power, and power is pretty tight. So what I do is drop 3 advanced, 3 basic for each miner. And then drop the extractors for both. The next thing to do is link them up. So we've got heavy metals there and nibble metals. Nice big red patch. Generally what I do is I go for just over 48 hours. It's kind of a nice trade-off between having to maintain it and decent output. I think for like every time you double the period it drops by 30% or something like that. But the key number you need here is the total output, which is here is 1.1 million. So the thing you need to note is that the 3 factories, they can only react just under 900,000 per 48 hours. So if you're doing more than that, it's just going to overspill. If you've got a really crap planet, you probably want to use this setup and just more extractor heads, so you essentially get more output to bring it back over up to about 900. Whereas here we've only got 4 mining heads and we're already way over. So what we want to do is stick down a storage, so it, when it overflows, it doesn't overflow to nowhere, because the launch pad's only got 10,000 storage. Whereas if you've got an extra storage for the output from these, it's not going to disappear. Let's link that one up as well. 10 little links like that don't take much power. And let's stick on the other one. The thing to note is that the resources will deplete after a while, so you should probably bear that in mind. But there's still planning on this one as well. So, first thing to do is route those, so when you do the mining it goes somewhere. Otherwise it shall disappear into nowhere, which isn't any good to you. Oops, install that one. Install. And now the click fest begins. So we're making enriched uranium. Generally what I do is I work out the middle. So if you route the outputs to the launch pad, so when you go to the planet you can collect it. So a minimal amount of hassle. So, if you notice on the schematic, it takes toxic metals and precious metals. So let's set those factories up. I'm going to put those to the launch pad as well. This doesn't really matter if you do it to either one, because the factories on their very spill, because they always go at the same rate. Unless you've got unbalanced extractions, I guess. So you've reacted one and you've run out of another or something like that. So there isn't really enough CPU or grid to end up with like 4 factories, unless you've got factory planets, but it's just a lot of hauling if you do that sort of jazz. So toxic and precious. So that's all the outputs done. Next thing is to send them in the inputs. Occasionally that bug where it doesn't let you route it. You just click one other factory and back again and it will let you do it. Buggy game is buggy. So the thing to note is if you change the layout, the routes can only end up like 6 items apart, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so you can't go any further than that. Which one did I click? So that got one. So that's got an incoming and outgoing. Incoming, outgoing. Outgoing, I've not done that one. What I like to do is, as I'm doing it, just check once you've done one, you've got 3 outgoing, 1, 3 outgoing. You also notice if you've missed one, because you'll have the factory not doing anything, and lots of stuff piling up. So the next thing is to do the inputs to the mid tier 1 to tier 2. So that should all be done now. So let's check on here, 3 inputs, 3 in, 3 out, 3 in, 3 out, looks good. Try to misclick those, 1 out, 1 in, 1 out, and 2 in. That doesn't matter, I've missed done that one, haven't I? This is what I've got, 1 in, 1 out, yeah. So that's all going now. So in 48 hours we'll have some uranium in there. That blue Peter, here's one I did earlier. So you'll end up with it in here on the launch pad. You just drag it across and collect it in your epithel. And that's pretty much it, to be honest. Repeat the process for each planet. So Baron will be mechanical parts. Yeah, this also got storage on it, I should probably fix that. What I'd say, refer back to my list. I've done most of the legwork for you. So, rich uranium. I've put kind of ratings of how available the resources are as well. So, for example, if you've got mechanical parts on this planet. It can be a bit hard to find nobles on there. Is there planet 4 noble? So yeah, you can see it's a bit patchy. So if you're trying to find things which match up, you can get their example or something, I guess. It's a bit hard if you're looking for overlaps. That's pretty much it, to be honest. Yeah, so set up 6 planets, and you probably want to transfer to the customs office now and again to free up space. You have to collect them maybe once a week, and then maybe like once a month. When you're doing the another cycle, you want to move these around a bit, just so they're on the kind of war red or even white if you're a regular planet spots. From when I was doing it in Polaris before, it seemed to be that the planets generally kind of rotated the resources around, which is a bit strange rather than depleting. But I don't think I've ever had to move a actual kind of base around on the planet, maybe once or twice. But that's pretty much it really, to be honest. Any questions, send them my way I guess, and enjoy.